2020, another year for big investigations by our News Channel 5 Investigates team.
But like every other part of our lives, the COVID-19 pandemic was a big story. And News Channel 5 Chief Investigative Reporter Phil Williams and the rest of our team dominated that coverage.
That we are at a crossroads. We are standing on the edge of the abyss.
From the beginning of the COVID crisis, Tennessee doctors turned to News Channel 5 Investigates.
We're never going to be able to mandate people's behavior
to try to get the governor's attention.
I think we need to be able to look back and say we did everything we could in our power to prevent it from being worse. And I think that's where we're at with asking for shelter in place mandate.
You hear about a lot of makeshift things happening, but there's not a makeshift happening in our state yet because we have stayed ahead of the curve.
While Bill Lee had insisted there were no issues getting personal protective equipment,
obviously these are not FDA approved strategies.
We discovered his own health department was telling providers that instead of medical gloves, they should consider using plastic grocery bags.
That says they don't care. It really is. It really seems deliberate indifference in this. It's like, we're not going to tell you anything.
After News Channel 5 Investigates revealed a COVID outbreak at a Gallatin nursing home, we pressed the Lee administration to be more transparent about the real numbers in such facilities.
So families don't know whether it's 2 cases or 200 cases. Why can the state not be more transparent about just how bad the scope of the problem is?
We're just posting those facility names for the public's benefit, and we took our cues from many other states that are doing the same.
The state eventually relented and began posting those numbers.
I got to slow down a little bit because my breathing is still a bit short.
Throughout the pandemic, we've tried to see the crisis through the eyes of the frontline workers.
We're losing more than we're keeping. I put an ungodly amount of people in body bags that I wasn't prepared to do.
And the suffering.
I had never felt that bad in my life before. And to be totally honest, I felt like, man, am I dying?
While pressing the governor when he parted ways with the scientists.
Do you have a single scientific expert who tells you they are wrong?
I have, as I said, we have clear evidence.
But about getting the pandemic under control, sir.
Well, to be clear, we have worked and continue to work every day to mitigate the spread of that pandemic in this state.
It's 11:27. I'm getting here.
We put the state's COVID testing system to the test while tracking no-bid spending on personal protective equipment, totaling nearly $80 million.
And then this is a flame, and
including more than $8 million on sock masks.
If we look at CDC guidelines, it needs to be a 2-ply cotton minimum, where air cannot pass through.
I mean, this is frankly worse than our worst fears.
More recently, News Channel 5 Investigates revealed how the Lee administration hired a new company with no experience to test for COVID-19. Cost to taxpayers $26.5 million.
Entering into a $25 million no-bid contract with a company with a lack of experience over the objections of the professional staff of the agency is one of the most shocking things that I've seen in my time in state government.
And as the pandemic continues, so will our investigations. Phil Williams, News Channel 5 Investigates.